Hi, I'm Seamless, and today I'm going to show you how to make this sound. It's a growl and it sounds greasy and it's whatever, but I'm going to play that again, and this time I want you to focus on the high frequencies, and if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, I want you to tell me which Super Saiyan this is. So this is a bit of a fun one because I'll be honest, the sound is cool and like I'm probably going to use it at some point. Like I'm actually literally just beginning a track and this is just all well and good or whatever. But like in the course of doing this, I just discovered it was particularly easy to get into making Dragon Ball Z sound effects because I don't know if you've paid attention to the sound design in old Dragon Ball Z, but all of that is hardware synthesis FM. It's all like filter FM and Reese effects and that kind of thing. That like kind of sweepy up and down like the energy aura sound effect. That's pitch difference on the recent things, and that like electrical kind of like I need to play the drums. Sorry. Dirt, dirt. It's that chain to hell. That top end electrical business is like like feedback FMing on things. In particular, what's happening in this sound is I have an LFO going on a bunch of important things like a filter and level on the modulator side of things, but I'm also doing all this like phase FM that's just self itself. So like this guy is modulating looks like this dude, and then this dude is modulating this guy, and then like on top of all of this, you see how this line works on the side here. These guys are the actual sound that's being generated. This is a pulse width modified square that is also having its phase FM'd by like the end of this, which is a filter. It's being filtered, which is being FM'd, and then it's being distorted, which is being FM'd, and like this is all being FM'd by it all itself. But like it's all also like it's going out at this point here. This is what we're hearing, but it's continuing to go into this other out, which I'm not actually. I guess I am doing something with. I have this ring mod and then doing a sideband with. But even if I didn't, like this out being here connects all of these oscillators so that the signal flows through it, which means that it's not just this oscillator and this oscillator coming out and FMing each other. It's actually also the sum of what's happening beforehand. And that's where we're getting like the modulation still being relevant to itself because it's all self-modulated. And the self-modulation is touchy. That's why these are all very light, tiny values, because if you can visually see the results of them, which is nice, is that if you go too hard, it's straight up noise. When there's no oscillation detectable other than just straight up chaos. That's what noise is. And like you can see as you get closer to sort of like regular life, it looks more like the shape it's supposed to be. And then there's that. That's exactly what causes it. It sounds exactly like it. It sounds just like one of those like the electrical zaps that show up in the energy aura. I really like Dragon Ball Z. If that wasn't clear, I'm a huge fan. Anyway, this I just thought it'd be kind of neat to note that you can do this extremely easily inside Faceplant. This is sort of like what it's for, is this specific kind of sound design, which was like super rampant in the 80s. Almost all of the sound design in the old show was pretty much synthetic, that stuff, with a bunch of Foley and that kind of thing. But like the energy blast, the auras, and all that kind of thing, like that's a lot of this FM stuff. And it's pretty, you just route the stuff up and then you detune them. You see I'm using unison in here, and unison is a big part of it because even if I didn't have it, it still would do it. It just would be suddenly the tonality of it changes because the tone is what you're hearing, the tone more, and not the obfuscation that becomes from phase cancellation when you have a little bit of engaged. You see how what I like about Faceplant in particular is that it actually shows you visually the result of everything you're doing, including things like the phase changes kind of happen when you involve unison into stuff. And this is handy just for getting to this part, because like if I want something like a tone that also has a sharp edge to it, literally the edge of the oscillation is sharp, and that's what this high frequency mess is. That's what we're hearing it. That's what it is. We're seeing it, and we can tell where we can like manually position where that is and tune it to be what we need it to be and where. And that's and like what we need it to be is for sharpness. Like smootherness is something where an event is more smoothly represented across the whole oscillation, and sharpness is when the oscillation is lopsided. So to get it to kind of be one or the other, you can visually kind of figure that out, or you do it most of the time is just kind of just hear it. You probably also saw when we were on the way other side of that really freaky high frequency. I'm trying to keep this low because I'm pretty sure that hurts if I play it too high. But you notice how you could actually see a complete oscillation in there, and so we got a tone, a really high frequency, really painful tone, but we got one. Versus what we're getting when we're playing normally. You can see more oscillations in there, but they're not even. They're jagged. They're weird and toothy, and that actually kind of gets us in the result. We actually kind of are hearing it being weird and toothy. Doothy, doothy. Someone figure out what doothy is. And then this unison, the phase cancellation is what makes it happen. It's what causes that. It's the moral story. Yeah. So if you're the moral of this how to base is mostly just that I really like Dragon Ball Z, and that sounds just like the Dragon Ball Z energy effect. And if you wanted to ever figure out how to do that, there it is. I might actually intentionally figure out how to do like some of the other sound design just to show you what I'm talking about, but just to get you on your way, real basically, seriously just like square wave a filter and then filter FM and then detune it like you're doing a Reese and then watch what happens. And then do that multiple times, like not just on two oscillators, but two or three or four that are all different pitches. And then that kind of like wop, 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 and like get a little whip against itself. And that's what that stuff is. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And as usual, have a nice day.